Hello, my name is Mekel Rogers and I am the composer of House of Lords. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the origin of the piece and give you some performance suggestions and tips as you go through rehearsals and preparing to play this work. First of all, the term House of Lords comes from the Middle Ages when there was a king in England named Edward III, who was a really famous king, who established the government in England as a two-house system. He established two houses. One was the House of Lords and the other was House of Commons. The House of Lords is basically, at the time, made up of the clergy, which is the church people, and the nobility, which is people with royal titles. And the other house was known as the House of Commons, which was made up of the common people, people that were neither lords or clergy people. So that evolved into today's British government, where if you're in the United Kingdom today, you have a House of Lords and a House of Commons. Basically, the House of Commons creates the legislation and passes the laws, and then the House of Lords acts as kind of a review board to review and approve all the laws that the House of Commons passes. And so they act kind of like the guardians of the English Constitution. So I wanted to try and capture the medieval feel of the House of Lords originally. And so what we've got is basically a very regal, royal sounding type of piece. I've got my score here, so I'm looking down a little bit at it. So just to let you know why I'm looking down. The introduction is the section from measures 1 to 12. I wanted to talk a little bit about the form of the piece so you can kind of get an idea of what the big chunks of the piece are. So as I said, the introduction is the first 12 measures, and you want to start it with big, nice and full sound, and keep those eighth notes really nice and separated, D, da, 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 ba, ba, bum, and big and full on the chords. When you get to measure 12, that's where the main melody starts. Now it starts at a kind of a mezzo forte and only in the clarinets. And then what happens is over the next couple of measures, different instruments come in and layer on top of that. So you have the clarinets first, then the alto sax, then the flute. Okay? They layer to create this kind of web of music. Okay? But that is the main theme that's coming out of the clarinets. Then when you get to measure 19, which is still part of this first main theme here, you need to watch out for the accidental that's there in some of the parts, because I put a chord in there that's a little bit weird. It sounds kind of exotic, and you needed to have an accidental there. So there's a few parts with accidentals that you just need to watch out for and make sure that you play them correctly. When you get to measure 21, the main theme is restated, but this time it's in the full band and it's a nice forte, big sound. Okay, so that's from 21 till about 29. When you get to measure 29, you get what's called the second theme. Generally speaking, in a second theme, it's going to be a little bit more smooth and connected. You'll notice some slur markings in some of the eighth notes. The idea is it's still royal sounding, but it's a little bit more smooth and connected, a little bit more lyrical sounding. And that's just to give a nice contrast from the more march-like or processional-like music in the beginning. So that lasts until about 36. When you get to 36, there's a section called the retransition, and that lasts from measure 36 to 43. Now what a retransition is, it's a segment of music that is used to join the second theme to the return of the main theme. Okay, and you'll notice that I borrowed some of the music for the retransition based on part of the introduction. Okay, there's a little bit of borrowing there to make it kind of all connect. Then you'll notice then in measure 43, we get back to the main theme in its entirety, and we have the full band playing it from 43 until about 51. When you get to 51, we have what's called either a coda, or if it's a small coda, a codetta. And it's basically a couple of measures of music to kind of finish off the piece. So from 51 to the end, you have this little statement of basically what is the opening you'll notice that it's real similar to the opening measures of the piece, but it's just a little section at the end to kind of round off the piece. So it's real similar to the beginning, so you have this thing at the end that sounds a little bit like the beginning that sounds like the end, So, and it rounds off the work real nice. So you've got the introduction, you've got the main theme softly, or mezzo, and then you've got the main theme forte in the full band. Then you've got a second theme, then you've got a retransition, and then you've got the main theme revisited, and then you have a little codetta at the end. And that's the piece. So there are recordings of this available. If you go to my website, it's www.mekelrogers.com. Free to listen to. You can also go to the publisher website, FJH Music, and you can also go to the J.W. Pepper website to download recordings as well. All three of them have recordings. They're all free to listen to, and you can, just listen to those to get an idea of how the piece is performed. And feel free to email with any questions. My email address is mekelrogers@earthlink.net. Put it right there. And I hope you enjoy performing and rehearsing House of Lords. Thank you.